Hi, my name's Lloyd and I do Spanish Civil War tours in Barcelona, and because of the coronavirus I can't work at the moment, so I thought I'd do a few videos instead. So start with this one. I'll tell you this little story. This is the only photograph we have of George Orwell on the Aragón front. We only have two photographs, in fact, of Orwell's time in Spain, the other one in Barcelona at the Lenin barracks. Orwell, of course, he later writes about his experiences in Homage to Catalunya. This is an image of the front cover. I don't actually own a copy of the front of the book, the original, because it's about £5,000, so that's just a print copy. And this photograph. So Orwell, he goes off in January to the Aragón front, and by March he's in Huesca, in the siege of Huesca. And here we have a group of ILP, mainly British ILP, this is the Independent Labour Party volunteers. There was about 20 of them who fought in the Pum militias. Orwell, of course, he's the very tall one at the top there. He's 6'4", 1m88. So a lot of people say this is why he got shot, because he was so tall. Got shot through the neck later. But in fact, you could also say that if he hadn't been if he'd been a bit shorter, he might have been shot through the head and not through the neck. But there you go. Also, we've got this fella down here, kneeling down with a black beret on. His name is Harry Milton, American Trotskyist, who all had long arguments with. Milton tried to persuade Orwell not to leave the Pum militia, because Orwell had the intention of leaving the international brigades, joining the international brigades. That never actually happened, but that's aside from today. When Orwell later gets shot through the neck, it's Milton who saves Orwell's life by stopping the wound. And then why is he? And you notice he's actually got his hand in a sling, his arm in a sling rather, and he mentions this in Homage to Catalunya. This is my very battered copy I used to use in the first few years on the tour. So it really is a bit of a mess, this. And I'll just read to you a little bit about the context of this. So he says, towards the end of March, I got a poisoned hand that had to be lanced in a sling. I had to go into hospital, but it was not worth sending me to Sietamo for such a petty injury, so I stayed in the so-called hospital at Montflorite. That was about 4 or 5 kilometres from the front, which was merely a casualty clearing station. I was there for 10 days, part of the time in bed. He talks about the hospital staff there stealing everything he had. He was there for 10 days, and he's also in the photograph. We have, you see there, his wife, Eileen Blair, because Orwell's real name, of course, was Eric Blair. They hadn't been married for very long. And she'd arrived in Barcelona a few weeks before and ended up working with the international section of the Pum in Barcelona. And she'd come up to see him in this hospital, though he doesn't actually mention that in his book, which, you know, he was a man of his times, really. Occasionally mentions, so he does mention her, but he doesn't mention her visit. And he never mentions her name. He always talks about my wife. This photograph was probably, or possibly anyway, taken by George Kopp, Orwell's commander, who was a Russian-born Belgian, who actually showed Eileen Blair around and later took her back to Barcelona. And as you can see, they're wearing, you know, a bit of what they got, really, old clothes, and maybe Orwell's wearing Henry Miller's jacket, which he famously picked up. He famously was given by the author in Paris. Maybe he's wearing that, maybe not. They've probably got better clothes on, these fellas, than most of the Spanish militiamen. They look quite they look quite warm. They've got decent footwear, unlike many Spanish militiamen. And they're standing around a Hotchkiss 1914 model machine gun. It looks like they're having a little demonstration there. It gives you an idea of the paltry state of their arms, these antiquated weapons from the First World War and before that, going back actually as far as the Crimean War. And there's also a fella over here who's obviously the joker of the pack, who's got a big pot on his head. So anyway, this photograph from George Orwell and the Aragón front. Thank you very much.